So what's up YouTube, my name's Doug Jenkins. I do a lot of informative videos here on YouTube. I hope you guys enjoy them. I'm watching Ghost Adventures. And I was going to show you a basic review of the Native Instruments Maschine. This is a new item that just came out as far as the hip-hop world's concerned and the dance world and whatever kind of production you're doing. This is pretty much, I'm going to turn this around. I'm on that nerd status right now, glasses on, John Deere hat. I don't got a girl over, I don't really care. I'm not trying to impress anybody. I just had to make that up front so you guys don't start saying, look at them big old Coke bottles slash aka big old glasses. So I have the Sony Vaio hooked up to the Native Instruments Maschine. I have a M-Box running, and I have two tannoy reveals. This is just my sort of mess around sort of thing. The cool thing that I got going on with the machine, first of all, it is very easy to navigate. They do make it seem that loading different sounds and stuff is a very quick touch of a button. Depends on your computer. I'm going to let you know that right now. If you have a decent computer, you're going to get, a little bit of load, what I would call just downtime, like waiting for a ride at Cedar Point or something. You're probably looking at between 2 and 3 seconds, 4 seconds, and I have a dual core Sony Vaio, and it still takes time. You can MIDI it in and out with a keyboard, and you can actually trigger different pads. I'll show you real quick, and I'm going to get into this. A lot of cool things you couldn't do or took a lot of time to do can be done quick with the Native Instruments Maschine. First of all, I told you I was watching Ghost Adventures. I have the output of my cable box. This is going to be a trick, and you guys better thank me for this one, because not everybody's going to be doing this. Or maybe not, I don't know. But I have the output going to the inputs of my M-Box. So the output of my cable box is going to the input of my M-Box. This is being triggered, and I can call it up in the machine, which is pretty nasty. And you can do this with anything really, but the machine lets you do a lot of different things. There's a button right there that hits sample. You hit sampling, and you're sampling that signal. Now, to be able to hear the signal, I don't know how to do this from the controller yet, but there's just a little mouse button here that says turn on the speaker so you can hear it.
Massacre took place. Oh, you alright? Spiders? Yeah. Okay.
So I'll turn that off real quick. But basically, you could just go over here, push start. You'll start recording in. Now, once I grab a sample, I can just go in and hit slice, and now it's sliced on the pads. There's also 3 different modes: split, which splits the pads. Detect mode will actually try to detect the transients. What are transients? Like the kick drum, the snare drum, the hi-hat, and all the attacks of these waves are what you call get big in a sense, and I don't want to get too technical. But let's just say we're messing around and we load up in the software, if you're a software dude, which I am when it comes to Pro Tools and stuff like that. But I can go in here and just start grabbing kits. And I'll grab a 909 kit. Now you can just play random patterns that they have assigned, or you can start to create your own patterns. You can set your loop base, and you can all do this from the controller. But with me, this is really cool. I mean, this is just how I've always worked, and I like using different tones and messing around with stuff. Let's say we have this clap. Well, I have it going MIDI out to the MIDI into this. Excuse me, MIDI out of this going into the MIDI into that. But now I can pitch shift it up. Now if I have a key part, follow me here. If I have a keyboard part, which they have their own sounds in here, let's just throw that in here on a group. Now they have groups A through H. Each group can have 7 sounds, so you can build a complex group of sounds. And you can also, what's really cool about it is if you got real in depth with this thing, dude, do not say it's not worth the money, because it's only worth what you put into it. There's so many flipping options. But what I want to show you here is I just added a sound. Now I can go in, hit shift pad mode, and now I can assign these keys to the pads. But now here's a cool thing. If you hit pad mode again and you go up here, there's a little thing that says bass key. You can turn it down or turn it up. Now parts of your keyboard switched. But if you have a MIDI controller, you can, and you can start playing stuff. So I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I don't know how much better or how much easier things are getting these days. But really, sometimes you just got to go back to music and realize that you can trigger things, grab sounds, grab any sample you want, You can make sounds out of samples. You can split notes. You can add. What I like as an engineer is each group has a modulator on it. And what you can do instead of, just doing the basic compression and stuff, is you can go up here and do all these things. You can go pitch bend, tune, start, reverse, attack, decay. Now watch. Now when I put these in here, which is cool, like say I just want this thing to start phasing at a part of my pattern. Now what I can do down here is grab my paintbrush, because I like doing this manual, sort of like I used to do in Reason, but you can just start painting in things and actually have this phase go to the to the pattern that you're messing with. I mean, I'm not trying to get so complex. I'm trying to think of some kind of pattern. But now if I play in that scene, I actually have the phase working before I even played the sound, so I can try to manipulate the sounds into something different. Now, with all this being said, Bill Gates Jr. here is trying to tell you that this piece of equipment is a professional piece of equipment. It is not the basic just get started Fruity Loops kind of thing, which Fruity Loops is a cool program, don't get me wrong. I'm just saying it's a little more user friendly. This thing is very user friendly once you get it down. The word user friendly to me is you gotta explore these things. A lot of graphic designers use Photoshop, but that's a program that you have to know, and you're still learning constantly. This is a piece of equipment, I think 10 years from now, not 10 years, but 5 years from now, I'll still be learning stuff new on it. I think there's so much to this box. There's note repeat like the Akai has. Actually has an emulation mode where you can emulate the sounds of older drum machines. You can import your own kicks and snares. You can actually build your own library based on all your samples. The one thing that I have to figure out is using loop-based like acid files or acidized files, and being able to just put a loop in there. That would be a cool feature if they added that to the next machine, where you could actually have an audio file in there that you set a loop region to and then played MIDI data around. I think that would make it powerful. The one thing that is a downfall to me that I've heard a lot of people saying is I have 2 computers, a studio computer upstairs. I actually have 3. A Mac computer and a Sony Vaio, and I cannot get the drag and drop to work on any of them. I've tried everything. There's supposed to be a way to drag and drop into Pro Tools. Well, with dude, these glasses are probably blinding chicks, dude. This is why I'm not married. But I just haven't got that to work, and that's the downfall. The other downfall, I think, was for a little bit the metronome was too loud, but I just heard, here's a tip for you guys if you do purchase this. You can hit shift, shift record and then play, and then grab the volume knob and turn it down. Now I think you guys are thinking this all crazy. Look on Google. You can turn the metronome down. They did allow you to do that. There's certain key functions that work like older drum machines. There's a quantize feature, a 50% quantize feature, redos, undos. You can actually auto write different phase and tune and all that stuff, and you can add these cool effects to your music. There's a compressor and a limiter in there. Now that's another downfall. It's not the best, but dude, they did not make this thing to be a mixing engineer. They made this thing to be a beat production powerhouse. The exporting features are cool. You can export just single samples and then bring them into Pro Tools that way, or Logic, or wherever you're doing your editing. So once again, I mean, with my reviews, I try to be as honest as I am, and I can. The Maschine, to me, is worth $500. When they said $669 on the box, I think that was a stretch to have people pay that. I think it's worth $500. The engineering and the technicalities that went into this in this process, they sort of combined everything from the MPCs to the MIDI controllers to the software native, to the instruments that they already have, like the Core Player. And they sort of threw it into one thing and made a groove sequencing station in a sense. So if you're the kind of person that likes to get up and run in with beats and just on the fly, you don't even have to stop recording if you don't want, start dragging sounds in, and you like doing it. And they also combined it similar to Ableton, but I think you can work it. They say Ableton's more of a right brain sort of thing, and engineering's a left brain. Blah 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 blah. I think you can get away with just this box and make some serious production for people out there. No questions asked. It is an awesome piece of equipment. You're talking to a decent. I'm a decent producer. I'm no ninth wonder yet or nothing like that. I'm a great mixing engineer, but not a. I mean, I told you I'm honest. I mean, I mess around with this to have fun, to mess with tones, listen to ways that strings are being used, or just figure out tricks on how I can make somebody's mix better if I have to comp kick drums or whatnot. So this is Doug, aka Diz. Just sitting back watching Ghost Adventures, sampling stuff, and I'm gonna see if I can slow down some stuff that they capture. Check it out. Bum, bum, bum. I'm gonna put my music in. This has been another review. Boom, 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 boom. I'll see you guys later.